Welcome. Today we are diving into the world of cloud security, an essential part of using cloud services. We'll go over some of the basic security principles, the shared responsibility model, the shared responsibility between the provider and you, and how you can stay safe while using cloud computing services. Now, cloud security starts with some fundamental principles that apply to any cloud environment. Let's break them down. The first one is confidentiality. The first principle is confidentiality. Here, you want to make sure that your data is protected, especially from unauthorized access. This can be achieved by, first, encrypting your data, both at rest and if you want, do it on transit as well, which means when the data is not in use, it is saved somewhere, it will be encrypted. And when the data is actually moving around over your network, you can even encrypt that channel as well. Using strong access controls, like MFA, multi-factor authentication, to limit who can access your data. So that will also increase the security here. The next concept which should come in your mind is integrity. What good it is if the data is broken, like if the data have no sense to it, it's corrupted. You will not use that data. You want it to maintain the integrity, right? So here, integrity ensures that your data remains accurate and consistent over a long period of time. This is done by ensuring data accuracy and consistency. So some techniques are there, like checksums and hashing, to detect any unauthorized changes or corruption in your data. So because of checksum or hashing, if there are certain sectors which are bad or some data is corrupted, at least it can be repaired, which overall increase the integrity of your data structure or data. Next is availability. Availability means that your service and data needs to be accessible whenever you need them, no matter what. To ensure this, cloud provider implement redundancy, backups, and disaster recovery to make sure that you're always up and running with your environment. You always have access to your machines, your database applications. The next is authentication and authorization. To protect your infrastructure or data, it is important to verify who's accessing it and what they can do with it. This is where multi-factor authentication, MFA, comes in. The principle of least privilege ensure that users only have the minimum permission they need to do their job. So remember, if they do not need higher privileges, don't give it to them. Just enough privilege to do their job. Auditing, the last A of AAA. Now, this is actually another key part of cloud security, that is auditing and monitoring. This can be done proactively or reactively. This means actively watching or keeping an eye over your cloud environment for suspicious activities and keeping a detailed logs for security audits. By continuously monitoring, you can quickly detect and respond to any potential threats. Now let's discuss shared responsibility model. Well, This is actually a critical model to understand. And this is where we check like who's responsible for what. And when it comes to the cloud security, this is quite crucial. This is where one party can actually sue other party, saying that, hey, this was your responsibility, not mine. So both parties should understand. And these parties include the provider and you as a customer. So the cloud provider take care of the physical security here. So what responsibility will fall on the cloud provider side? We are discussing that. I will repeat it. The cloud provider takes care of the physical security, like the data center and the hardware inside data center. They also handle network security with things like firewalls, DDoS protection, and network level control on their side. And they also secure hypervisor layer because on their physical machine, they are running hypervisors, all right? And they have to take care of it. Unauthorized access cannot be granted. Now, what falls on customer side? Well, as a customer, you are responsible for data security, which includes encryption and controlling access to your data. You'll also need to manage identity and access management, IAM, setting up authentication, authorization, user permissions, and access control all falls in that. Well, application security is on you as well. This is important. This means securing your software and APIs against vulnerabilities. Because if your code or your script have some loopholes, or let's say some backdoor entries, that responsibility falls on you. You have to fix it up. Of course, there are areas where the provider and the customer must work together. So they will do it together. For example, compliance. Both parties need to make sure that they are cloud compliance. And they also meet industry regulations such as GDPR or HIPAA. Depending on your business, right, incident response can be done. So what is incident response? If there is a security incident or if something happens, both the cloud provider and the customer must work together to respond to and to resolve the issue effectively. So this falls on both sides. So in summary, cloud security is a shared responsibility. The cloud provider handles the infrastructure and some security measures, but you as a customer are responsible for your data, your identity management structure, and application security. With the right principles and practices, and also collaboration, you can ensure that your cloud environment is both secure and reliable. Thank you for joining me today. Stay safe and secure, especially on the cloud. I will see you on the next episode. Take care.